Greetings. My name is Troy Cady, and I invite you to pause with me for a brief time of prayer and reflection. Rosalynn Carter, former First Lady of President Jimmy Carter, died on November 19th. And today there is a private funeral that will be held in her home church to remember her life. And so for today's time of midday prayer, I would like to read an excerpt from Jimmy Carter's excellent book called A Call to Action: Women, Religion, Violence, and Power. In this book, Jimmy Carter writes about the human rights and dignity of women throughout the world. And I want to read some excerpts from his chapter that deals with the Bible and gender equality. He had a wonderful marriage with Rosalynn, about 70 years of marriage. And it is clear that the esteem that they held for one another is derived from their perspectives on equal rights for men and women from the scriptures. And so I'd like to read some excerpts from that chapter in his book, A Call to Action, in the middle of our prayer time today. With that, let's get ready. I light this candle as a reminder that Christ, the light of the world, is with us. The words of Jesus from Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 29, as translated by Eugene Peterson in the Message. Jesus says, "Come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace." In the middle of the day, we return to you, Jesus, our center. In you we live and move and have our being. Like parched souls searching for a spring, we thirst for you and your ways. With joy we draw water from the wells of your salvation. Join me in this confession called The Life of the Beloved. I will say it one line at a time and pause afterwards for you to either say it aloud yourself or to just savor the words in your heart. I believe that I am God's beloved child. I am learning to let God's love fill my heart, to let it shape my life. so I may be just who God has made me to be, nothing more and nothing less. That I may abide in love and share God's love with all that I am. Amen. And now, in honor of Rosalynn Carter, I'd like to read you some excerpts from Jimmy Carter's book, A Call to Action. This is from chapter 3, which deals with the Bible and gender equality. The relegation of women to an inferior or circumscribed status by many religious leaders is one of the primary reasons for the promotion and perpetuation of sexual abuse. If potential male exploiters of women are led to believe that their victim is considered inferior or different even by God, they can presume that it must be permissible to take advantage of their superior male status. It is crucial that devout believers abandon the premise that their faith mandates sexual discrimination. Islamic scholars assure me that there is no justification for this discrimination in the Quran, but there are specific verses in the Holy Bible that can be interpreted on either side of the issue, and some ascendant male leaders in all faiths take advantage of the interpretation most beneficial to them. Jesus Christ was the greatest liberator of women in a society where they had been considered throughout biblical history to be inferior. He treated them as equal to men, which was dramatically different from the prevailing custom of the times. Dr. Allison Bowden, Dean of Religious Life at Princeton University, writes, "The gospel of Jesus Christ has at its center the ending of domination of every kind. For some Christians to use the gospel to compromise the human rights of women and others borders on the obscene. Propagated with appeals to idealized heritage, immutable sacred history, and paternalistic care for the religiously ignorant, their rights-denying actions must be exposed for what they are: formal policies for the retention and augmenting of power by those men who already have it. The ethic of Jesus Christ proclaims the radical equality of human value. The ending of the subordination of women and of all who are dominated is critical to the building of the reign of God on earth as it is in heaven." And Jimmy Carter continues, "My inclination is to consider more seriously the policies of the early Christian church after Jesus Christ came to explain the meaning of more ancient texts and to let us know more personally the true nature of God, who exemplifies a combination of justice, mercy, forgiveness, and love. The question of patriarchy is addressed quite clearly in St. Paul's 1 Corinthians 11, verses 11 through 12. You need to learn, however, that woman is not different from man, and man is not different from woman. Woman may come from man, but man is born of woman, and both come from God. There is no need to argue about such matters, because it is human nature to be both selective and subjective in deriving the most convenient meaning by careful choices from the 31,000 or so verses in the modern Christian Bible. If men with religious authority wish to remain in power, they can accept the version they prefer. It is ironic that women are now welcomed into ascendant positions in all major professions and other endeavors, but are deprived of the right to serve Jesus Christ in positions of leadership as they did during his earthly ministry and for about 3 centuries in the early Christian churches. It is inevitable that this sustained religious suppression of women as inferior or unqualified has been a major influence in depriving women of equal status within the worldwide secular community as spelled out in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on those sobering words. As it is the middle of the day, many of us have been working and have more work ahead of us to look forward to. And so in our midday prayers for PlayWell communities, we offer a prayer for work. Join me in this now. We commit to you the work that is done and the work that is yet undone. May your beauty rest upon us, Lady Wisdom. We trust you will complete the incomplete. We believe you will finish what you started. May we meet you on the road with us, Brother Jesus. As we labor, be our resting place. Please make our work restful and our rest fruitful. May we remain present to your presence, Great Spirit. And in our midday prayers, I always close with a blessing from Saint Teresa de Avila, a 16th century Spanish mystic. Receive this blessing. Let nothing disturb you, nothing affright you. All things are passing. God never changes. Patient endurance attains to all things. Whom God possesses, in nothing is wanting. Alone God suffices. Thank you for joining me for midday prayer. I hope you have a good rest of the day. Be loved, because you are beloved.